So obviously now Lynchburg's got tons of churches, is looked at as a very religious type of town. Big part of that, obviously, Liberty and Dr. Falwell. But even back at the very beginnings, you guys are talking about the Quakers. And so religion's always been a big part of...
But not in the city, not
in
the
the
town.
city, okay.
The Quaker meeting house was out in the country.
There was briefly an Anglican church, but after the Revolution, it dissolved and the building burned down. And so when Lorenzo Dow, who was a traveling evangelist, came to Lynchburg, there were no churches in the city. Well, it would have been in the town at that point. And Dow is an interesting character, and I've always been fascinated with him. He grew up in the time of the Great Awakening, and he had a sort of troubled mind religiously. And he became an evangelist, and he would come to towns, and he was sort of wild. He didn't cut his hair. He didn't bathe. He slept in the woods. He would call out people for their wickedness and what he perceived as their wickedness, and he referred to Lynchburg as the seat of Satan's kingdom. Well, I thought this was wonderful and thought it would make a great title for a book, and Clif said, no, I don't think so. But he did do that down in the middle of Main Street, essentially, because there were no churches in Lynchburg. There were plenty of taverns, there were livery stables, there were tobacco warehouses, but there was not a church. And no one invited him in to generally preach in their home because, as I said, he wasn't very clean. But a number of people who listened to him were moved to create a Methodist church within the city limits. And so he succeeded in what he wanted to do.
And many of the early churches in the frontier areas were Baptist or Methodist. And a Methodist minister would serve maybe several churches. So we began to earn that nickname, City of Churches.
And about what point in time was that?
This is the late 18th, early 19th century.